Hey, can you believe we're already at the end of 2018? Here we are between Christmas and New Year's 2018, and what a great time to look back on 2018 and see, what worked, what didn't, what's needed, and tweak a few things going into 2019. And it leads me to something that my mentor, John Maxwell, says. He says, the highest form of leadership is self-leadership. He also says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And so if we want to influence others, if we want to have an impact in this world, we've got to start with ourselves. We have to lead ourselves. And so before we can lead others, we got to lead ourselves. And that's really the context of what I want to share today. Because, 2018 was an incredible year for me. I've never had more fun, more travel, never had more income. It has been a blast, but at the same time, I lost focus on a few things, and I want to make sure to really stay crystal clear in 2019 so that it can be an even better year, and so can yours. And so what I'm doing different this year is I'm going to add into the things that I focus on 5 quotes that I'm just going to lean into all year. And if you really want to understand the context of all of this, I want to encourage you, go watch a video by my wife, Antoinette Griffin. She did a video on 10 questions that she and I ask at this time each year. And it was really her idea to do this about a few years ago. And we've done it to kind of baseline our year so that we know come this time next year, how did we do in those areas that we deemed important? So I encourage you, go watch that video. I'll put it in the comments below. But the quotes that I'm leaning into this year start with number 1. And it's a quote that a mentor of mine, Paul Martinelli, shared with me. And it's by James Allen. He says, men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Therefore, they remain bound. You know what? We can sit around and complain about life and our circumstances all day long. I can complain about weight gain in 2018 all day long. But unless I'm willing to improve myself, change something that's going to take weight off, then I'm going to remain bound. I'm going to remain the same. What a tragedy. And so I want to encourage you, what is it you need to change in 2019? And probably the first place you can look is, what have you been complaining about? And so now I'll encourage you, stop complaining about it and do something about it. Change. Number 2 is by Earl Nightingale, and he said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And so that begs the question, if success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, then what's your worthy ideal? What is that big rock that you really want in 2019? And when you have clarity around that, then it's going to make your no's really easy and the yeses even harder. Because you'll know it has nothing to do with your purpose, then the answer is no. If it aligns somewhat with your purpose, but isn't going to get you into a progressive realization of that, then you might want to say no. It's going to make those yeses harder, and that's good for all of us. Number 3 is by Emerson, and he said, if you want to be great and successful, then get around great and successful people and walk side by side with them. What is he saying? Find a mentor or a coach that can help you get to your worthy ideal and lean into them. And so that's what I'm doing. I've got a coach. I have mentors. I'll encourage you to do the same. 2019 can be a banner year if you embrace that. Number 4, this is especially for me. It may not speak to you, but here's another transparent moment. I'm a people pleaser by nature. And so I always sit around and I wonder what other people are thinking about me. And the reality is, people aren't. They're not thinking about you either. But some reason we convince ourselves that people are just sitting around thinking about us, and they're not. And so when we realize that, we can embrace this quote, which I love, and I've heard it by 2 different mentors, Paul Martinelli and Les Brown. Both have said, what other people think of you is none of your business. Isn't that true? What other people think of you is none of your business. None of my business either. And so when I get in that, I can realize, you know what? I need to just worry about what I'm doing, my motives, my heart, where I'm coming from, and realize I can't control what other people think about me. And either they'll like me or they won't, but that's okay, as long as I'm doing the right thing. And so, said a little bit differently, I heard a pastor say one time, "You do you, boo." So I want to encourage you, you do you. Be the best you, and don't worry about what other people think. Number 5, change your thinking, change your life. You know, I saw that when I was scrolling through the internet earlier this week through quotes and things, and it's really, tons of people have said it, but I believe the roots of it are probably with Wayne Dyer, where he said, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. I want to encourage you in 2019, embrace that quote. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at your circumstances, the circumstances you look at change. When you change the way you look at people, the people you look at change. When you change the way you look at yourself, then you begin to value yourself. You begin to change. I want to encourage you, change your thinking, and you'll change your life in 2019. A bonus one, I'll end with this, and I know this one with all my heart. Complete assurance of this. I know that you matter. I embraced that back in 2005, realizing that I had a very low self-esteem. I really thought I was damaged goods. Didn't think that, you know, I was really had a purpose in life. But I realized that I was fearfully and wonderfully made, just like you. I realized that I mattered, just like you. Because you see, when we realize that we matter, we don't look for what's wrong in other people. We begin to look for what's right in them, because we know that they matter, and we can get really curious about them. So if I could encourage you in what to do with that in 2019, start looking for what's right with other people and quit looking for what's wrong with them, because you matter. And when you realize that about yourself, you'll know it for sure about other people. Let's go out and make 2019 the best year ever. We can do that. It's not a slogan. It's something that you just kind of kick yourself in the butt and get out there and do it. We can't complain about our circumstances if we're not at least trying to change ourselves.